15 foods to buy now to build your prepper pantry. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. A lot of talk about what to buy. I get it. But this is some unique approach, I think. I feel some of these items are more unique, not so mainstream, but good start to build your prepper pantry. Here I am in my working pantry. Thought it'd be a good backdrop. Anyway, so 15 things. This is part of the prepping by the numbers because it's important to go over these kind of things. So let's start off. And these aren't in any particular order, but number one would be canned meats. We've seen the push for meatless society. I don't want to be eating bugs, so canned meats. Also, you could throw in there freeze-dried meats. Any long-term shelf-stable way of storing meat. Meat is a really good thing. It's a really good part of my diet, my family's diet. You can also freeze it. Yes, I get it, but I like preparing for not having a grid because then I know that I'm okay if we don't. Anyway, number two, shelf-stable fats like powdered butter, canned butter, coconut oil, ghee, things like that last on the shelf for a while. Let me see. I was going to see if I have any can of ghee I could show you really quick. I forget where it's at, and I don't want to sit here and take time looking in the middle of a video. But it's important to have fats in your diet. Fat is not a bad thing. Sugar is not a bad thing. Fats and sugars in excess would be a bad thing. But don't believe the hype about fat-free bull BS, okay? Fats are good. Your body needs them, period. Another way to store shelf-stable fats would be, where did I see it? Like this. Olives. Olives have good fat in them, aka olive oil, right? Olives. That's a good way to store some good healthy fats. All right, number three, seasonings and spices. Very important. We talk a lot about, you'll see some items down here that would get very boring over time. If you stockpile a lot of rice and beans and stuff like that, well, you got to have a way to season them so you're not eating the same old, boring, nasty, plain food all the time. You got to mix it up and you got to have different ways to enjoy your food, right? We want to enjoy it. SHTFs can be hard enough. We don't need to be, sucking it up and eating food that isn't good and that we don't enjoy. So seasonings and spices. Number four, cheese powder. You ever thought about that? Cheese powder is a really good way. It's healthy fat. I mean, it's a fat. And it's really good. You can mix it up. You can put it in dishes. You can put it in soups. You can make mac and cheese out of it. There's lots of different things you can do with powdered cheese. So I really like that. Number five, powdered peanut butter. And a lot of these things I'm saying powdered because of the shelf life, longer shelf life. Peanut butter is awesome, but it goes rancid. If you get powdered peanut butter, it has a longer shelf life. So powdered peanut butter. My family loves peanut butter. You can put it in smoothies, shakes. You can make you use it in baking. Lots of different sources and uses for powdered peanut butter. Number six, canned fruits. Because we need a variety of foods in our diets. And yes, a lot of people will say, why did canned fruits make your list? They're not high enough in the caloric value category. True. But a lot of people think about macronutrients all the time instead of thinking about micronutrients also. And are canned fruits the best? No, they're not. Freeze-dried are also a good option, which I'll talk about later. But the canning process, yes, does take some of the nutrients away from them, but it's also about variety and it's also about morale, about eating things that you enjoy. So that's why it made the list. Number seven, canned veggies. Same thing. You need those micronutrients as well as the macronutrients to keep your body healthy, well-balanced diet. Very important. SHTF's going on. You got to keep yourselves healthy. Period. You got to keep yourselves healthy. Fitness and eating right are two ways to do it. All right, number eight, freeze-dried fruits and veggies. I just threw those in the same category because that process retains more of the micronutrients for the fruits and vegetables, and they have a longer shelf life. So, but they don't have the water and it's not really one of those things you can't just pop open the can and eat it. You got to reconstitute it, stuff like that, or you can mix it in something. You got to do something else with it. All right, number 9. You guys are going to know this one, right? Dried beans and legumes. Talking about like pinto beans, black beans, the garbanzo beans, lentils, split peas, all those kinds of things that are really popular in the preparedness community because the expense or lack of expense. They're inexpensive. So you can buy a lot, you can stockpile a lot. That's a really good way to get bulk foods. So think about that. Number 10, also along the same lines, very inexpensive, rice. Rice is really good for bulk foods. It's very inexpensive. You can put it in anything. You can season it anyway. You can mix some of that cheese powder in with it, make cheesy rice. You know, there's a lot of different things you can do. Number 11 is wheat. We've heard of wheat shortages. We've heard of different areas and different countries not exporting wheat. So wheat will be important if you want to eat and have a long-term sustainability. If you want to make some tortillas or some bread or some cookies or whatever it may be, wheat is very important, and you can sprout it and eat it that way. Sprouting wheat is really good because it increases its nutritional value exponentially. It makes it a lot more nutritious, so you can do that. Number 12, yeast, right? Because if you're going to have wheat and you're going to be baking and stuff like that, you need yeast. I know there's ways to make your own yeast, but it's a lot easier if you just have a stockpile of yeast, right? Why make things more difficult on yourself when you can make it easier on yourself? Things are going to be worse. Things are going to be more difficult. Choose things that make your life easier in an SHTF scenario. You're going to be pulled in so many different directions. You don't want to make things difficult. So make it easy on yourselves. Number 13, lasts forever. And it's really good for morale also. And I'm sure, yeah, right here. Here we go. Honey. Honey is a really good way to have an item you can use for baking, morale. It's sweet. It lasts forever. I recommend a local, raw, organic honey. Wherever you are local, get it for your area. People with allergies love. It really helps out with allergies if you get local honey, because the bees are collecting pollen and all that stuff like that from all the local plant life that causes a lot of people to have allergies. Thus, somehow, I don't know all the science behind it, but it helps with allergies. Number 14 also lasts forever and is something that you need in your diet. You don't need a lot, and you could get a lifetime supply very inexpensively, very easily. This is salt. Salt is very inexpensive. You can get iodized or non. I recommend, I just have a mix of both because I don't want to necessarily have it all in everything, but iodized salt is something to stockpile because you can throw that in the seasonings and spices category also, but salt is kind of a different category because you can use it for salting meats. You can use it for a lot of different things also, as well as just spicing up your food and making it taste better. Number 15, last but not least, also lasts, as far as I know, forever, is sugar. Sugar is really good. If I was going to choose between honey and sugar to stockpile, though, I would take honey. Even though it's heavy, I just like honey better. But sugar is really good. Used for baking, used for making sweets, whatever, putting in your coffee, whatever it may be. Morale is going to be important in a world turned upside down. You want to have things that make you happy, that make your taste buds happy. So take care of yourself and your taste buds and make sure that you have a good variety of things that will help you to remain happy. It will be difficult, and I'm not saying that just having good food will make you happy because life is going to be more difficult. Everything's going to be more difficult. Chaos, famine, all this stuff. But if you can do a little bit here and there for your preps that enable you to have treats and have things that you enjoy, then why not? I want to enjoy. I want to thrive, not just survive, right? Because prepping is living insurance. Very important. And I forgot until the end of the video. If you could, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share the videos, comment below, do all the things to help reach people with this message of preparedness. It's very important in nowadays because we want more people in the asset column versus the liability column. I want fewer people trying to come and take my stuff. And I want fewer people coming to try to take your stuff. So anyway, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day and blessings to you and yours.